Hi, I'm Plushy Matt, and this is Plushy Matt Reviews Marc Brunet's Art School. Term 1 is over. This week I will be reviewing Term 1 and just kind of going across my progress and my growth from it and just reflecting on everything that I've kind of come across. So I just want to kind of go over really. I watched every video from Term 1 again. I cringed at myself and then I kind of assessed everywhere that I said I struggled. So if we just kind of go around, I made this nice little mind map. And so photo bashing and photo manipulation. I'm not too fussed at sucking at this. However, it is something I can see will be covered more as we go along. It's also not something I'm massively wanting to be good at, but I do think it is something that will be required of me. Um, Next up is figures in perspective and foreshortening. I'm going to start trying to focus more on this and looking at kind of tailoring my studies towards complex poses with foreshortening. And I do think that is something that I will just kind of naturally improve at as I study it more, just in the same way I have with anything else with the figure. Because I do think I've got a strong understanding of drawing people. I'm just maybe not as confident drawing them in kind of crazy poses. Next up is environment studies. Now, this was something that coming in, I probably had the least amount of experience with. And I would say that my best gains were as a result of, studying term one. But like I say, because I had the least experience with this, it was kind of low hanging fruit. However, I do think I kind of came along in leaps and bounds quite quickly with the environmental studies. Next is characters in environments. Like I say, I feel really confident drawing characters kind of in a void. Just a character on a canvas, maybe a blue square behind them on their own. And I can do that comfortably. And I think I can do that all day long. As soon as I kind of want to put an environment in there, sometimes even just a secondary character, I do think that that ability kind of takes a big nosedive, and that is something that I certainly want to improve. Next up is faces at angles. This is the part that had me absolutely pulling my hair out. I'm really glad that faces are going to be covered in more details in term two, as that is possibly the weakest part of this. I can draw kind of faces face on or like a 3/4 angle. And if it's not that, I can't draw it. So that is something that definitely needs work on. And finally, I've got rooms in perspective on there, and I think that really just ties in with the environment studies. However, specifically, it's the aspects of making something look lived in and real, not just mathematically proportionally correct. So I suppose that's not just rooms. That was something I noticed when I was kind of drawing a lot of the buildings when I had the kind of Clip Studios perspective ruler on. Is everything looked really nice and mathematical and organized and neat, but it didn't look alive. It didn't look very lacked character, I suppose. And it was something I reflected on, and even in the video where I kind of looked at it, is I reflected on that maybe I kind of draw them a little bit more freehand, and then kind of go in a bit more mathematically after I've got an understanding of what it is I'm trying to draw. So rather than starting with the maths, but that is something that I will completely have to experiment with. So yeah, these are the areas that I think I need to improve in. Overall, would I recommend Marc Brunet's art school term one? I just want to bring up, so this is kind of a little before and after taking term one. On the left, you've got obviously Makoto. It's a picture I've shown you a couple of times. This is like the benchmark of what my ability was at the start of this course. And then comparing it to this image of kind of like my own character, Carrie, after taking turn one. And I don't know if it's maybe as obvious at face value, but I do really think the second image is like leaps and bounds further in quality. I think like the second picture really kind of has a story to it. It has more of a heart and a soul to it, whereas like on the left is just kind of like, you can describe the image on the left as it is a drawing of Makoto, whereas the one on the right would take a lot longer. You kind of go, okay, well it's an original character, Carrie. She's playing a crane game. There's stuff going on in the background. She's in an arcade. She's caught a Plushy Matt. Why is Plushy Matt not wearing any trousers? Who's Carrie on the phone to? You know, anyone who kind of maybe has seen some of my original characters will know that like Carrie is on the phone to her sister. There's a lot going on in this. A lot more, maybe like um, a lot more to find, a lot more to see, a lot longer for you to kind of look at this image, rather than the one on the left is this is an image of Makoto. Keep scrolling. Do you know what I mean? I think it's that sort of. I think that difference is a huge difference. So yeah, would I recommend Marc Brunet's art school? Yes, yeah. I mean, I'm really, really proud of the progress that I've made, and I think term one is a fantastic start to this. I think everything was explained in a way that was so easy to digest. I didn't find myself at any point struggling with the concepts. It was only struggling with the execution. So everything that Marc explained was so easy to kind of understand and take in. The difficulty then came in the actual studying itself, which it should be that way around, right? So yeah, I'd wholeheartedly recommend getting in Marc Brunet's art school term one, and I really hope that you'll join me as I start term two next week. Thanks for sticking about. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.